during the full moon and you hear Halloween in the night, don't we all just lock the doors and pray that nothing is going to attack us? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you guys doing? We're going to talk about my top 10 favorite werewolf movies currently. Have I seen every single werewolf movie? No. Do I want to? I don't know. Now, I don't think there's good. I think most werewolf movies are just not very good. We have movies like Twilight. Those are terrible. But this list does not involve anything besides werewolves. So I do not have Van Helsing, which is a goat, or the Underworld series, which are also goats. Well, the first three are goats, but I'm just saying, maybe eventually I'll do like an Underworld ranking video. That'd be so much fun because I love Underworld, but those do not count. In the future, I'll be doing a vampire video, but Underworld will not count for that either. Neither will Twilight. Thank God. If you guys want me to talk about Twilight, I will do a giant Twilight video. That would be so cringe, but it might be a little fun. Anyways, we're going to talk about some werewolves. This list is my opinion and my opinion only. You can disagree if you want. You can tell me I'm totally wrong and these are in the wrong spots. That's cool, but this is my list, and that's how it works here. Number 10 on this list is actually the newest addition on here. It's Werewolves, the 2024 film. I actually really like this movie. Is it cringe? Yeah. Is there werewolves that wear punk rock outfits and wear nose rings and stuff like that? Yeah. This is basically The Purge, but with werewolves instead. When a super moon comes out, and if you see it, you turn into a werewolf, which is kind of cool. I really like the concept. It's an hour and a half long, and it does have some elements of like family in it and mother-daughter, and then like this uncle that's trying to save them. But if you really sit back and watch and think too deeply about it, it's super stupid. It's really stupid. But the werewolves look pretty cool, and I thought they were going to be all CGI, but no, I think they were all practical. There is some parts of them that are CGI, clearly that they're running and stuff. That's all going to be CGI, but the werewolves actually looked really good. I think the practical effects in this movie looked really, really good. Now, it's not the highest rating ever, but it's cool. I like the concept of it. Am I saying this is the best werewolf movie ever? No, because it's not number one on my list. But I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was a lot more fun. I watched on Hulu literally like the other day, and I was like, wow, this was actually a lot of fun. I was not expecting that at all. This was just a fun movie. Number 9 on this list, if I was truly picking like my favorites, this would probably be number 1. I watched this movie so many times as a little kid, but I was like, let's be real, it's not gonna be number 1. But this is the 2010 Wolfman movie, and I really like this movie. Why? I don't know why. It's not very good, but the parts of it where you see the Wolfman are really good. Everything else is just really slow, and there's just so much studio interference with this movie. That's why this movie is just not good. The cast was really good in this movie, except for Anthony Hopkins was felt like he was like sleeping through a lot of the film, but whatever. He was getting a check regardless. This movie was really fun. If you like fall movies with like a little dark eeriness, I think it was a pretty good movie to watch. There is some scares, but man, the design of the werewolf looks so good, of just how he looks as the 1941 film, The Wolfman. This one looks so good to it, and it's just so sad that they put so much effort into it. They just could not make a good movie, and it's just something that Universal just cannot succeed with. I plan on making a Universal movie in the future. I don't know when, maybe January or something, but this movie just really is fun. I think the Wolfman is really cool. It's a lot of the same beats as the original one, but they just kind of drag it out a little more, and I feel like those extra just fat on this film makes it not good. They push too much for it, and I think they should have just really focused on Lawrence, him dealing with the effects of the Wolfman, and I think it would have been a lot better film. And I kind of think, if you guys ever seen the movie Nightcrawler, I think that would have been cool if it was Nightcrawler with the Wolfman. That'd be a really cool film. Just saying. Number 8 on this list is actually one I just watched recently too for my Halloween movie watch. Of course, it's not Halloween anymore, but I watch a lot of Halloween movies. And this is a newer one. I've been trying to watch more werewolf movies just because I wanted to do this list last year, but because I was like, I don't really have enough werewolf movies yet. And I rewatched the ones I really like anyways all the time because I just like them. Sue me. But I watched Ginger Snaps. This movie is really fun, and I actually liked it a lot more. Some of these I need to rewatch. I think if I rewatch all of them from the least favorite to my favorite, this I could definitely change this list. But Ginger Snaps is really good. I kind of like the ability that the werewolf transformation kind of aligns with, like, when for periods, that's what the whole movie is kind of about, in my view. Is I like how the whole plot is kind of involves with women when they have their periods, and like the whole cycle of this werewolf transformation aligns with it. It was actually a really cool concept, and it also plays a really good role for sisterhood. The ability to have a strong sibling through all of this craziness is so cool. I really do like this movie. I thought it was a lot more fun. I did not know what I was getting into, but this movie is a banger. And I love the elements of how Ginger slowly turns into this werewolf. And at first you see her, she's super confident. She just doesn't put up with anything, and she's really strong, and just all these really cool elements. And then the monster slowly takes over her. She is growing a tail, and she's just like turning every day. She's turning constantly into a werewolf. It's just a really fun movie, and I did not expect it to be this much fun, because when I heard about it, everyone's like, have you seen Ginger Snaps? It's a werewolf movie. I'm like, Ginger Snaps? And I was thinking like Hansel and Gretel kind of movie, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I watched it, and I was like, this is a sick movie. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything about it besides it's just a werewolf movie. So going into it, I didn't have the highest expectations, but I really did like this movie. Number 7 on this list. I think the more sometimes I think about it, because I like this movie, but I also dislike this movie, but it's fun. It's the werewolf design I really just don't like. And that is Silver Bullet from Stephen King. I read The Cycle of the Werewolf from him, which is like 100 some odd pages. That's a fun book. It's not like anything too extreme or crazy. Silver Bullet plays that. And this movie is the definition of like the 80s. You know, the main character, he is handicapped, and he has a badass wheelchair. And it involves with the priest, where the priest is actually the werewolf. The kid figures out, and he shoots the priest in the face with fireworks, and that's how he truly figures out the priest is the werewolf. It's just a lot of fun 80s like horror movie stuff. It's a little bit of a B movie, that's for sure. But the thing is, my biggest beef with this movie is, oh my gosh, the werewolf looks like a giant bear. It just doesn't look like a werewolf, and you can definitely tell it's on a cheaper end of movies because of those elements. Like, you don't really get to see the werewolf a lot in this movie, but when you do see it, it's almost comical, because it does just look like a man in a suit, which I understand. They're all men in suits, but it's like, this just takes a little more too much, where he does look like a giant grizzly bear, which just makes me just giggle when I think about it. So yeah, I mean, this list could change, obviously, in like a week from now. It's always going to change. My lists are always going to change, but Silver Bullet is number 7. Number 6 on this list is actually a nostalgia movie. Now, I'm a big fan of Jack Nicholson, and that's going to be the 1994 film Wolf. This is not your typical werewolf movie, and it's almost the ones I really do enjoy, where the main character battles with the werewolf. Like, I get it, a lot of these movies usually tend to do it, but he does it in a way where he has like his loved one, but he's also dealing with the wolf side. Like, Jack Nicholson's character is someone who gets kicked out. He loses his position in his job because he's older, and the younger guy is just taking over the job. I think he meets Michelle Pfeiffer and just falls in love with her. I mean, who wouldn't? Michelle Pfeiffer, 90s Michelle Pfeiffer. Have you seen her in Catwoman?
Meow.
But anyways, this movie is really cool. It gives a lot of heart, and it gives a lot of spirit, and it doesn't really focus on the horror elements of the movie. And Jack Nicholson's werewolf doesn't do like the full transformation. It's like mid transformations at night. Like, he slowly gets nails, he slowly changes his eyes, he slowly changes his teeth, and he starts killing people and stuff like that. You have those elements, but then you also have the cute love and build of romance between Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. I really like this movie. I think this movie is really fun. I thought about rewatching it for the Halloween season, but I haven't yet. I actually would classify this more as like a fall movie more than like a horror movie. It's right in the middle, but towards the end is when it actually gets really, really good. I do like this movie though. I watched it last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of forgot how much I love this movie. I watched it once as a kid. I thought it was really fun, but this movie, way better on a rewatch. Number 5 on this list is the 1996 film Bad Moon. I feel like when I see werewolf movies, this is one that no one talks about, and it's just so weird. I have another one on this list. Don't you guys worry, that I feel like no one puts on their list, and it's really good. But this movie is so cool. It's just basically a German Shepherd versus a werewolf. This brother gets attacked by a werewolf in like Brazil. He moves back home and he turns into a werewolf and starts killing the animals. And he keeps getting closer and closer to his sister's home to the point where the werewolf like takes over. But the dog knows Thor is a goat in this movie, and Thor is just so awesome. But throughout this whole movie, Thor like attacks the brother, and they have to like take Thor away because they think, oh my gosh, Thor just attacked this man for no reason. And the whole time you're watching, you know, like you as the viewer know why Thor did that. And this movie is just so sick. I mean, the werewolf design is really good too. It kind of reminds me of Underworld 2, of the design of that Lycan William. If you guys seen Underworld 2, you know what I'm talking about. But I like the design of it, and man, it's just a really fun thing where it's just a young child, a young boy, and his best friend dog versus a werewolf. How can you not like dislike that? It's such a cool movie. I really did like this movie. I watched it as a kid and I thought it was really cool, and it made me want a German Shepherd. So then when I watched it as an adult, I was like, oh man, Thor's a goat. This is why dogs are always better than cats. I'm just saying. Number 4 on this list. This one is gonna be awesome. I've seen plenty of werewolf films for everyone's like their favorites, but no one ever puts this one, or if they do, it's like super like late. It's like one of the first ones, but this is number 4 on mine, and I watched this one last year and I just forgot how badass this movie is, and that is Dog Soldier. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a bunch of Irishmen fighting werewolves in a cabin. That's the movie. And it's so cool, and you don't know what they're saying sometimes because, you know, they have their thick Irish accents, but this movie is so badass and I love it. It's really fun. It's very cool. I mean, granted, they can't really kill these werewolves because, well, they're using regular bullets. They're not actually using silver bullets, and this movie just makes it so much better. It's just sick. You have these soldiers that are the drama of this story of what these characters are going through, of trying to figure out how to survive the whole night and what is going on, how did these creatures get here, and then even the design of the werewolves look really good too. I'm very impressed with the designs of them. They're like super lanky. They kind of give me the vibe of the third Harry Potter one where Professor Lupin turns into a werewolf. Spoiler if no one has ever seen Harry Potter, but it's like the tall, lengthy kind, but they have hair and are like, they have a wolf head, and then the rest of their body is just really lengthy. It's really cool. It's a really fun movie, and I'm just like, holy crap, this movie is just the levels and the intensity. And like I said, like the first 15 minutes is kind of the buildup, and the rest of the movie, they're just in this cabin fighting werewolves. It's just so badass. I love it. So the next 3 on this list can actually be flipped actually all the time. When I wrote this list out, I was like, I can't wait for the hot takes on this one. But number 3 on this list is An American Werewolf in London. I really like this movie. It used to be one of my all-time favorite werewolf movies, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more I do love this movie. And of course, you always got to talk about the practical effects in this movie is always amazing. I always feel like when people always talk about how great practical effects are in the 80s, people do always mention this, but then they always say, well, The Thing or Fright Night's way better. But I'm like, The Thing is probably the best, but I would argue that I think American Werewolf in London is actually way better than Fright Night. I'm just saying. I think Fright Night has some really good practical effects, but I think American Werewolf might have a beat. Just the transformation scene alone, badass. This movie is really fun. It's a good little romance, and this is just like what I was talking about with Jack Nicholson's movie Wolf. It does the same exact stuff where the main character is dealing with becoming a werewolf, but he still has that love interest. And I actually almost argue that I feel like the love interest has felt a little rushed in this movie, but I do enjoy it. Once it gets past a little bit of the rush, it does feel like this is normal. This could actually be real. It's one of those elements in the series that I'm like, I'm a little 50-50 with it, but I do like this movie a lot. I clearly love it. It's my 3rd favorite one out of the list so far, but what a banger. Number 2 on this list is something that argues that people say this is better than American Werewolf in London, and that is The Halloween, which came out the same year. I saw this movie actually earlier this year, and I was like, wow, speaking of practical effects, this movie is gas. I actually do like this movie more than American Werewolf in London. Now for the same reasons, besides the practical effects are really good in this. I'm more of a hind leg kind of werewolf fan than a 4-leg werewolf fan, but I'm not going to complain about that part. I'm not going to complain about the werewolf part. I like this one more. I like how it's like an island of werewolves, and it's like this woman has to go out there for therapy because of the horror that she saw at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the movie, she's on this island and she's dealing with werewolves. I really like that element. I didn't expect it. I haven't seen The Halloween in a long time. I only seen bits and pieces of it most of my life, but I've seen American Werewolf in London plenty of times, so I was like, well, I will say the sequels to both of these movies are terrible, that's for sure, but The Halloween, is a really good movie. What a knockout. Number one on this list, I think a lot of people will know, this is actually the first werewolf movie I've ever seen, and maybe that's why it's still at number one, but I think it's arguably probably one of the best, it's arguably the best werewolf movie. I think a lot of people will always agree with that, and as the 1941 film, The Wolfman. I really like this movie. I actually just watched it for spooky season. I'm a big fan of black and white films. I'm also a big fan of Universal monster movies, and it makes me sad when I see classic monsters are coming on the live screen and they're not from Universal, but Universal's like, we gotta make this a universe. And it's like, why? Just make good movies, dude. Like, stop doing it. Anyways, that's for another video. But I think The Wolfman is really good. I love the way that Lon Chaney Jr. basically showed us the way of how werewolves are going to be represented for all eternity. The hind legs, the design of it, just the features of the Wolfman. I love how he walks on his tiptoes as the Wolfman versus how he walks as just a regular man. I love the design of the Wolfman. I love all of it. I love the ability of him going mad and trying to figure out, what can I do? Why? How can I change? I'm going to kill everybody. I love the features of this movie to those degrees. It just makes me, as a fan of werewolf movies, understand this is the foundation. This is where it started. This is where people are like, oh yeah, werewolf movies are badass. And that's where I'm going to stand with that. Now, could this list change? Absolutely. In a year from now, if I ever revisit it, maybe they come out with a couple more werewolf movies. Maybe some of these will come off the list. Maybe some will be added. Maybe they'll be shifted a little bit. Maybe American Werewolf in London will be number one next time, or number two, or maybe the Halloween be like number 7. Who knows? But I did enjoy all these movies, and this is my list right now. If you guys made it to the end of the video, let me know what you think of my list. Do you agree with my list? Do you think I should switch it around? Is there any on this list that you actually like more than other ones on this list? And if there's other werewolf movies that you think I should check out, comment down below. I will add them to my letterbox and I will try my hardest to watch them. I have plenty of time to watch movies most of the time, so let me know down below. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe,